Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Carla from Rehan, Allahwala's World of Connections. And I am here today speaking with Khalid Rafique about his life, his work, and his passions in life. I'm very excited to speak with him. He lives in Karachi, Pakistan. Now, I want to remind you that, like all of my shows, this show is sponsored by the Institute of Peace, which is an online organization promoting peace one conversation at a time. Khalid, please introduce yourself.
Okay. Thank you very much, Carla, for having me this opportunity to come online and talk to the friends all around the world. I'm Khalid Rafique, and I have done PhD in emerging ICT ecosystem. I'm from Azad Kashmir, which is the northmost part of Pakistan. It's just on the border of Pakistan, India, and China. It's a very beautiful place. Right now, I'm working as a Director General in AJK government, and I'm responsible for carrying out this digital transformation. Since we are living in a underdeveloped country, so we need to digitally transform our manual governance system into digitalized new governance systems. I have 2 engineering degrees, MBA, a degree in law, and also a PhD in emerging ICT ecosystems. I have worked in telecommunication sector for around 17 years before joining this position 4 years back. And I have lived through Pakistan in different cities, almost whole of the Pakistan. I have lived in China for 4 years. I have traveled to few countries in Europe, in Central Asia like Kazakhstan, in the far Eastern Europe like Ukraine, Czech Republic, Far East Asia like Philippines, Indonesia. So I'm a global traveler also. And apart from that, Azad Kashmir itself, with all my traveling experience, I believe it is one of the best places to travel in the world. We call it actually heaven on the earth. This area where I'm living right now, it is surrounded by some of the highest peaks in the world. And this is actually, we are living on the footsteps of the 3 most highest mountain ranges in the world. Himalayas, you have already heard. And we are just living on the footstep of Himalayas. We are close, this region where I'm living, it is very close to China. It is very close to, it's just on the border of India. It's just on the border of Pakistan. So this place actually, it has been confluence of many religious ideologies in the past, Buddhist, then Hinduism, then Islam, Muslims, all. So it's a very fertile land, a land which is providing waters to India and subcontinent. If you, as some people among you may know, it is the oldest civilization, the largest population in the world. Combined India and Pakistan, it becomes over 1.5 billion population. So, and China on our one side means 3 billion. So we are living in a population of 3 billion. The population of this area, Kashmir, where I'm residing, it is only 4.2 million, but probably very resource rich, water abundant, rivers, mountains, minerals, scenic beauty, and everything. So I would love to actually host few of you who want to travel to this area.
You still have a house in Cashmere?
Sorry, say again, please.
Do you still have a house in Kashmir?
Yes, I have fortunately two houses in Kashmir. Actually, we have this still joint family system. So one right now where I'm living, this is my house, inherited by my father. Then there's a hometown which is almost 100 kilometers apart, up in the mountains. We have a house there. I have a house in Islamabad, the capital of the city. So I just keep traveling in a week. All these places I keep traveling. So a kind of a traveler mode.
Now, are you married with kids? The reason I
Yeah.
ask is because of all this traveling. Do you travel
Yes.
with your kids?
Yes. Yeah. I'm married, very happily married with four kids, beautiful kids. Yeah.
How old are the kids?
Uh, I have three daughters and one son. My eldest daughter is 21. The second one is 18. The third one, she's 14. And the son is 10 years old.
Wow, you know, I have a show where kids come and practice speaking in English. Would be
That's good.
really
So,
nice to have them.
yeah. I would introduce to you, inshallah, and they would love to come on your show.
It's on Sunday nights. Well, let's get back to you now. I just
Okay.
thought of it when you told me the ages of your kids.
Yes.
So you have all these degrees. You're a lawyer, you're an engineer. You seem to be very curious. What is your biggest interest as far as your passions?
Actually, my career, it evolved. Like I started my professional career around 24 years back. In 96, I did my first engineering degree from Karachi, from Rehan's place, Karachi, a very good university. Then in 99, I did my MBA. Actually, I aspired to go get into an organization, United Nations organization. So I had this degree. Then again, I went into a multinational. It was a project on oil refinery as an electrical engineer. Then I switched over to the telecom industry, did another degree, master's in engineering in telecommunication. Then in 2008, I got a chance to go. Actually, since I have already started traveling around, that traveling is my passion, in fact. And then I got a chance of getting a scholarship in China. So initially I wanted to go and explore on, scholarship means paid expenses. So I just wanted to go there for 3 months. But when I landed in Beijing, I really loved it. So I decided to carry on my PhD degree. I stayed there for 4 years. Between I was going and coming back on and off. But I really, really love this country, China. It's kind of my second home. So I traveled around within China. Out of 26, I have traveled to 13 provinces there, many cities. So since then, I'm traveling again to and fro other places also. Then I came back and I joined my career again. So I worked as electrical engineer, I worked as telecom engineer, and now I am leading an IT organization in the government sector, which is responsible for transformation of these manual system into digital technologies.
Okay, how did you end up getting all these degrees? You were in China. What did you study in China?
I have mentioned 3, 4, or 5 degrees. In fact, say 4 of them was in Pakistan. One was, yeah, one was China. One was in China. My engineering degrees, both my MBA and my law degree from Pakistan, at different times, of course. And in China, I studied about this ICT development, information communication technologies. So there was an evolution, in fact. We call it a digital transformation phase. And to me, actually, that time, since I was working in the telecommunication industry, and we were seeing the Chinese companies emerging as the largest telecom vendors. So we anticipated this, that China is going to lead this transformation. And it was just after 2008 Beijing Olympics. So that was the time when China was being unfolded to the world also. So I just thought it's the right time to go there. Then along with it, if you could remind yourself, so it was also a slow economic transition towards the Asia. So that is what we anticipated that time, that China is going to be a major player in economics, in technology transformation and all this. So that was probably the right time to go and get connected with these people. So that's how I landed in China.
Wow. Your background is so interesting. Did you ever practice law at all?
No, actually haven't practiced law, but it was as a part of my job in telecommunication industry. We had to negotiate many contracts, and then inking those contracts, negotiating terms and all this. So it was more or less all business law that we need to go through. So that actually instigated an interest in me, and that is why I followed this law degree also, since I was already doing this under my job. So I just wanted to have a degree. Maybe that could help me later in my career.
And obviously it did, because you needed to have some knowledge of the law in order to do business.
Yeah, of course, and especially this position, because this is I'm heading this organization which is dealing with different departments. So there are multiple stakeholders, and we need to negotiate contracts all the time. And since it is followed by this transformation in some rules and regulations, so that degree helps me here also.
Wow, very interesting. And then you have, now, do you have just one business, or do you have multiple businesses?
No, actually, since I'm part of the government here, I mean, it's a contractual job, but with the government. I'm holding a very senior position, fortunately, and nothing else. I just, it's some family business. You could see the managing the real estate and all stuff, but otherwise no business except this job.
Wow. Because I know we missed an interview because you were traveling at one point.
Yes, because just because of this position I'm holding, I need to travel a lot, in fact. And so it is from one city to another city and all this. So that is why I missed it. And I really feel sorry that I could not make it earlier.
Well, that happens. It's part of life. Things don't always go as we would like them to go. But I want to go back to Kashmir for a moment. When you were living in Kashmir, were you in a city, or were you more in a village?
No, it is the capital of the state. The state I'm living, let me describe something about Kashmir. Kashmir is actually, it's a very big territory, and this part which we are living it is divided into with India and Pakistan, and a part of it is with China also. But so with India, we call it Indian occupied Kashmir. With Pakistan, this part of state of AJK, the part we have, it is called Azad Jammu. Azad Jammu and Kashmir means a free part of Kashmir. We have a very small state with our own government. We have our own prime minister, president, a complete parliament system, cabinet, ministers, our own courts and all this. So the city I'm living in, it is the capital of Azad Jammu and Kashmir, which is called Muzaffarabad. And if you people could Google it out sometime, it is a very, very beautiful city, a very rare city with two rivers in this city, and two the major river, one starting from Himalayas and other starting from Srinagar, which is a very famous city in Indian occupied Kashmir, the most famous city. And these two major rivers actually they make the land fertile in most of Pakistan. So it is called a tourist paradise, in fact. So whenever you get a chance, please do visit us.
Is it, there's cities like Karachi, which are really big and the greenery is gone for a lot of it.
Yeah.
Are the cities in
Kashmir.
Kashmir more full of greenery and gardens, or
Yes, it is lush green. The mountains are lush green, and the mountain ranges from, it starts from 4 to 5,000 feet above sea level and goes up to 15,000, 16,000 feet above that. It has got probably one of the most highest lakes in the world at the highest altitude. It is very lush green. Very, I would like to share with you the pictures, the videos. It is really some way we call it actually the Switzerland of Asia, and probably far better because the peaks that we have, it is much higher than you have in Switzerland or some other places.
wow. You mean you actually have beaches there too?
No beaches. We have got
I
the
heard you
rivers.
say beaches. Okay, go on.
No, beaches is actually, that is south part of Pakistan, but in Kashmir you have river. So we don't have the beaches, no sea, but riverside we have abundance of. We have got some very good lakes.
So people go to the lakes to swim or have fun.
Yes, there are some lakes which are, I mean, you can just hike to those places, you can trek to those places, not accessible by road. You have some forest mountains, you can hike, the best hiking places. There are some skiing places, probably one of the best, because last year few people came from Sweden and Switzerland and Austria, and they told us that probably these peaks are far better for skiing purposes. There was last year some paragliding events. The people came over from all the world, and they acknowledge these places very good for paragliding and all this. So it's really, it's a small, but it's a very good place to travel.
Do you go skiing in the winter there, or?
I last year just tried a little skiing.
So do you have a lot of winter type activities, and what are they?
Yeah, actually, like 30 or 40% of our area, it is covered with the snow in the winters. So there are some local sports also, but now we have tried to introduce this skiing. The government is taking all steps to introduce winter sports also. Adventure tourism, winter sports, jeep rallies through snow, all this kind of activities.
Wow. Now, you come from this really wonderful place and you migrated to Karachi. Was that a big cultural difference that you came to?
Actually, I just want to make a correction. I have lived in Karachi for a while during my studies. I did my first engineering degree 5 years I stayed in Karachi. It was back in 90 to 95. Then I started my first job from Karachi in 99 again. Then on and up, I keep traveling. Karachi is more of a cosmopolitan city, so there is a huge difference. Karachi have the people from all over Pakistan, so there you can find every kind of culture and all this. But of course, there's a lot of activity in Karachi. So the life in Karachi, like all bigger city, it is very you what you say also fast life. The places I'm living actually, it's very peaceful, slow. You just have your careers, not too much of activity. You just go on traveling around. If you want to have peaceful vacations, then this is the best place. Karachi is more about business activity, more of like sports, have beach and all this kind of stuff. So it's really different.
Now, are you in Karachi now, or are you in?
I'm in Kashmir. I'm in Kashmir, Muzaffarabad, the capital city of Kashmir, Azad Jammu and Kashmir. We called it AJK.
And what is one of your favorite things about the city you are in now?
I love most going on the rooftop. I usually sit on the rooftop, and it is surrounded by mountains, four sides mountains, so could see glittering lights. Then I love the rivers here. I used to walk on the mountains. It's a hike actually, hiking every evening, and this it's really a lovely place. The my favorite activity is sit on the roof, look on the moons, watch movies surrounded by the mountains. So I like open air mostly.
Now, do your
And you can see stars very clear stars.
So are your kids growing up in Kashmir? What do they want to do?
Actually, my kids are living in another city. It is called Islamabad, which is capital of Pakistan. Yeah, and it is only 3 hours drive. So sometimes they come back visit me, but usually I visit them every weekend. 2 days I spend every week. I'm with them 2 or 3 days. So it's just 2-3 hours drive from here.
Now, what made you decide to move, to have a place in Karachi when Islamabad? I'm getting all these cities mixed up.
Yeah. Actually, Islamabad being capital of Pakistan, there were more better opportunities for job initially. So in 2001, actually, I moved back to Islamabad for my job in a telecom sector, which is the largest company, which was the largest telecom company in Pakistan. So I stayed there for like 16, 17 years. We had a house there. The job was good. It was closer to my house. I was living with my family. So all these factors, they combined, and it was a good living in there. So moving back to Azad Kashmir was just because uh, basically I belong to this area. So there was a sense of ownership and belonging to this area. I just wanted to contribute in this transformative phase. So what I felt is like, since I was dealing with the technology for last 15, 16 years, so maybe I could lead this digital transformation in a better way. That enabled me, and actually I'm enjoying this very much, this job. And Islamabad is not far away. I mean, it's just like you can say an excursion at every weekend. Not a big deal.
So you go and you spend time with your family. Is your wife also in Islamabad now, or?
Yes. She's in Islamabad. Sometimes they are coming here. Otherwise, every weekend I'm with them.
Wow. What is one of your favorite activities to do when you're in Kashmir?
Actually, apart from my work, which is actually a obligation you need to do, I love traveling within Kashmir also. I love playing sports also. Sometimes I'm very fond of playing cricket. So whenever I get a chance, I do play. But mostly I like to travel and explore new peaks, new places.
So where are you going to travel next?
Next, actually, before COVID, almost every year I used to travel abroad. So for the last 4 years, I could not. My last travel was to Ukraine, Czech Republic, UK, and China, but it was 2017. So since then, I could not travel. Then 2020, when I was planning to go out, then this COVID came, and now traveling is restricted because of many restrictions around. I hope it will go. I mean, the COVID will, after all, it have to go. So when it's gone, then I travel to go Moscow this time. Kazan, Moscow, Russia this time.
Have you been in the United States yet?
No, not. But actually, I have a complaint from since you are living in US and all this. Uh, this traveling restrictions for me actually, because I love to travel around. I have traveled to like 10, 12 countries, continents, all leaving America. I tried in 2014. They didn't give me a visa. I don't know why. I mean, something they mentioned since I'm traveling too much to China or whatever reason. Because otherwise there was no reason to this. I just feel that countries they should become more open. They should allow the people to travel more. The people should try to know each other more. The this restrictions and unfortunate media propaganda and all this. This is portraying different regions with different brands, which is unfortunately not true. Another thing which I want to state is that I feel Pakistan is probably one of the most misperceived country in the world, wrongly branded, in fact. Otherwise, if you anybody of you who would like to come or who happen to be in Pakistan, it is a lovely place. It is very, very beautiful with all kinds of varieties, all kinds of weather, beaches, deserts, highest peaks in the world, snow, everything, plus very hospitable people, lovely people. So I just feel it, something I really, really want to share with the world that traveling, you should allow the people to travel more. The people should mingle with each other. They, when they will meet, actually, they will know that we are just same. It's matter of, it's like distance that used to be in the past. Now, in this century, even the distance doesn't matter. We are connected.
Now, don't you think now that through the internet and because of COVID, we are talking to people from all over the world? Don't you
Yes.
think this is helping that communication develop?
Yes, I really think so, and it is very good. In fact, the only thing that I want is that what I feel is that there are much more good in the world than little bad. Actually, this little bad it has impacted world more. So what we need to do is like we need to communicate more, and there should be a pressure on the governments like to shun off these conflicts and hate mongers and all this, and to find commons between cultures and all this, and let the people travel like you see Europe, for example. They had the deadliest wars of the history and all this, but somehow they have learned to to live together. They have opened the borders, and we don't see any kind of conflicts now. So similar is required all around the world, in fact.
Well, I have a question for you because
Right,
I
yeah.
agree with you. I think we do need to talk to people around the world more.
Yes.
I do believe, I really love the 500 mutual friend experiment that Rehan has initiated because of that. Don't you feel that's beginning to happen in the world because of the internet now? Because people are stuck at home, they're connecting. In fact, the other night I had a birthday party for someone to go to virtually with someone I haven't seen for at least 20 or 30 years. And the point of going was there were other people I hadn't seen. And we connected for the first time in many years. So don't you think this is beginning to happen again now that we have the internet than it was before?
Yes. I mean, it's really, really good. It's very impressive. I mean, something like you have met somebody after 30 years through this blessing. So and actually this is a fact that internet has brought world to a connected world. It has converted the world into a connected global village, what we call this now. And it is developing new communities. What I say now is uh, like you and me and other people, we are living far apart and all this. And now we are talking like friends. We have respect for each other. We're trying to know each other. So it's kind of different communities being developed with the same ideologies, with the same kind of likings and dislikings and all this. It is something very great, very good, in fact. So internet has made the world flat, in fact, bringing same kind of opportunities, connecting people at the remotest ends. And when you cannot travel, the position like this in the COVID or some other factors, when you cannot travel, even then you are connected. You can talk, you can share your thoughts and everything. So it is really something, a blessing for the humankind. And this, I just feel like it's not only connecting, it is changing a lot. And probably it would create that love among the people. It will shun off those conflicts which I was already talking before, which I mentioned before, because I really find it's sad when the people get into conflicts and then there are so miseries getting out of that.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I just wanted to make that point because there is a lot going on in the internet that we sometimes overlook.
Yes.
After all, I wouldn't know Rehan, although I have met him in person, but I wouldn't have known him if it hadn't been for Facebook.
Yes.
My friends around the world, like in Sweden and Brazil, who I've never met in person, I would not have ever known if it wasn't the internet. And it is making the world a much not global, I mean, completely global country, instead of saying, oh, you live in Egypt, I can't talk to you because I can't even find you.
Yes. I know you're right. You're right. You're right. I do agree strongly with you, with your comments on this.
It's not a matter of agreement. I think the world needs to begin to understand this. The reason we do these interviews is to connect the world.
Yes, actually, the impact is being compounded. The new generations, they are more, into these kind of activities. They want to connect with the people. They are connecting. So do I'm very grateful to the people who have worked, who have developed this internet, and very grateful to the people like you who are trying to create this kind of opportunities to talk to the people, and who are in fact making communities that are working for the better world in the future.
I mean, I find it just extremely amazing that I could
Yes.
open up my laptop and talk to you thousands of miles.
Yes, yes, that is true. That is true. It's something amazing.
And with that, believe it or not, we've been talking a while. Do you have
Yes.
any words that you want to leave our audience with?
Actually, I would say that I have good wishes for everyone who is listening to me here, who would see this, and I just want all of the people like to be open to all communities or people from all races and all. And just like this, for me, being a traveler, I just want all the countries to allow more travelers to travel more.
And hopefully that will begin. I
Yes.
want to thank you for speaking with me tonight.
One last word, if you allow me. The place, yeah, the actually one conflict, the area I'm living now is a conflict between, it's this state, a conflict between India, China, and Pakistan, and all this. So what I want to say to both the governments and all this, that we should need to find peaceful ways to resolve these conflicts, and let the people travel across the borders, let the people meet each other, and everything would be sorted out. So it is not for only this area, but all around. Let the people try to meet each other, see each other, and they would sort out the issues better.
I agree.
Yes.
And that's why the Insan Party was created by Rehan, to kind of help people empower themselves to make the world a better place.
Yeah. And grateful to Rehan, actually, he has allowed us, he has in fact introduced us to this community. He's doing a great job.
He is. I agree. And with that, I want to remind people that this interview was supported by Rehan Allahwala's Institute of Peace. And I feel very lucky that I was able to speak with you today, Khalid. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you very much.
Are you ready to wave goodbye with me?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome.